Hello everybody, this is Bill McFadden from TonePure.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at 7 violins, some quite recent solo violins, and we're going to take a look at the E-instruments that just came out, Stradivarius solo violin, the Orchestral Tools First Chairs, which came out a while back, the Orchestral Tools Tableau solo violin, which came out very recently, and also the Vienna Synchronized solo strings, the violin in that, and the Vienna Instruments solo string from a little while ago, and quite a while ago, and then the Joshua Bell solo violin, which is, I guess, about a year or so, and the Spitfire solo violin at probably the same time frame as the Joshua Bell solo violin. So in this video, we're going to take a look at a cue that they're all going to play. And this is the cue right here. It goes through the different register values for a violin from high and down to quite low. So it gives you a good idea what the violin sounds like through its range. And we're going to talk about the playability of the samples. In other words, which libraries are more playable? And what do I mean by playable? Well, how does it respond to fast passages? They all do fairly well at slow passages, but there are marked differences when you get a faster arpeggio going on. And the articulation we're going to look at is primarily the sustain and or legato articulation. And the MIDI of this cue, as well as the PDF, will be available as a free download in the description below the video. So if you want the free downloads for the MIDI, you could try the harmony and melody MIDI file on your own violins and see how it matches up to the ones we have here. So let's go ahead and get started. And we'll start with the Stradivarius that just came out. The interface looks like this. We're doing the Virtuoso preset in this. And let's go ahead and see how that sounds. So altogether, it does very well, it sounds to me. And if I just play and see how it responds. So it does have a quick response and it keeps up with fast arpeggios. And it actually sounds good in the high register. So let's take a look at the next violin. This would be the Orchestral Tools. And here you see the interface. We're doing the sustain articulation. So let's see what that sounds like with the cue. As far as playability, let's take a look at the Orchestral Tools Tableau, which actually just came out about a month ago or so. So here's what the interface looks like, and we're doing the sustain attack, CC1 plus legato. And here's what it sort of sounds like. So let's hear what it sounds like in the cue. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. We have the Vienna synchronized solo strings. And so if we look at the interface, it looks like so. And we have the sustain expressive patch up. As far as playability, the Vienna Symphonic Library always has great playability with the Vienna Instruments Pro interface, and with the new Synchron player, it has the same quick response to arpeggios and fast passages, mordents like. And let's go ahead and hear what it sounds like in the cue. Now, each of these libraries has a whole lot to offer. We're just looking at the sustain and or legato patch in these libraries. And so it's just a quick overview of the playability, what I call the playability. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next violin. Here we have the Vienna Instruments Solo Violin. So it actually is in the Vienna Instruments Pro player, which still has a lot of value because you have a very dry sample. It does have a included reverb right here, but you can take that off and then use any reverb you want. So that's the nice thing about the Vienna Instruments Pro libraries, is they do have that feature, so you can use the reverb of your choice without having additional reverbs going on at the same time. Now, as far as playability, not a problem at all. One of the reasons is it switches back between these two different presets based on the velocity. So it has excellent playability in that regard. And here's what it sounds like with our cue. So moving along into the next violin, we have the Joshua Bell. And the interface looks like so. We have the sustain articulation. And we're using the natural character. With a lot of these, you have to sort of get used to the particular character of the library when you're playing it, learn how much velocity to use, and so on. So it just is you have to learn the feel of the library. So let's hear what this one sounds like. And then the next one we'll take a look at is the Spitfire solo violin. So this is the interface. We're doing the sustain articulation. So it does good with the mordents, it does good with the arpeggios. So I'd say overall it's quite good, very good. Like the tone. So let's hear what it sounds like with the cue. So I think it handled that cue very well, as did many of the other ones. So let's go ahead and take a real quick comparison. What I'll do is just play starting with the first one, the Stradivarius. Play the same phrase. Actually, I really like the tone in that one. Let's compare the tone here. here's the Vienna instruments with the Vienna Ensemble Pro interface. Here's your Joshua. I like the tone there too. Good tone there as well. I really like the Stradivarius as well. So Bill McFadden, and don't forget in the description below there's a link to the free downloads of the PDF of the harmony and melody we're using to test the different and compare the different violins, and also the MIDI file with the melody and the harmony, just like you see here, will also be available for download free of charge. So Bill McFadden signing off from Tone Pure Music.